Warning. Potential hostile identified.
Congratulations, Agent. You survived the trials. I hope you're beginning to appreciate the reach of my network, and considering what you could bring to the table. That's enough for now, Hercules.
You know, with all this carefully constructed Greek mythology theme that Keener's put together, you'd think he'd know Hercules is the Roman variant to Heracles, the actual Greek hero. I'm kidding, I didn't know either. I had to look it up. Which isn't as easy as it may sound with the World Wide Web's not at our disposal like before our societal collapse. But luckily for me, I have other resources to gather up useless data. One could say I annotated it, which means our rogue network friend is as good as both a verb and a noun.
Thank you, sir.
Don't mention it. Well, that's enough intro. Let's recap, Heracles. Let me stick to the script. Agents, this time, your Herculean-esque journey to get Keener's help to take down the Hydra known as Natalia Sokolova took you to downtown East, and among your first trials there was heading into a lion's den, taking out perhaps an aptly named and equally tough armored True Sons lieutenant named Nemea. Once you skinned that tank, your next operation was Giant Shadow, where'd you take out the three-headed cell of Geryon, and Geryon, no relation. The final stage of this deer hunt took you to Empire Autumn Hotel, where you'd outsmart Major Atlas, allowing to get your hands on the Cloud and some interesting comms burden around Keener, Bridget Douglas, and a certain Melanie Hoskins. One of the comms with Bridge is just Keener gushing over Mackenzie Merritt yet again. I know this trial's to see how patient you are, agents, but hearing Aaron be creepy is trying my patience too. Oof.
It could be worse. Vanguard could have made you clean the stables.
What? No, this is worse. A quick shout out to everyone's favorite senior intel analyst for filling in some background info. Turns out Melanie Hoskins was a first wave agent, vital in stopping a Cleaner attack plot to send a subway car filled with firebombs to the Hudson refugee camp in New York. Sadly enough, in order to stop the payload from reaching the site, Hoskins had to shoot and kill her own sister, Johanna Fisher, who had joined Joe Farrell's faction. Comms showed Keener was pretty heavy-handed on recruiting this same Hoskins to join his network. Between sharing comms that could implicate McManus in the reckless, if not intentional, reaction to NSA data concerning Amherst and Chernenko, to bribing her with a chance to see her husband and kid in upstate New York, sealing the partnership with the mental arm twisting of what I consider a veiled threat concerning that same family. But Keener's not the type to stoop that low, is he? Despite her feelings about Keener, Hoskins pretty much had to take the deal. And after she got her opportunity to reconnect with her family in Buffalo, she'd keep up with her side of the bargain, which consisted of going to a small town war-torn to track down a hunter. I don't know if you'll have to face off against Hoskins down the line. Just know she'll be incentivized to stand by Keener's side if he ever gives the burn notice, even as untrusting as she is of him. The things we do for family. But it's that very arrangement with Hoskins that makes me think Keener is right. He does have a considerable reach. Who knows the amount of people he has in his pocket for one reason or the other. Which makes me want to reassess my last advice to you. You know, the one about forming a small cell where you'd have your scouts as the boots on the ground while you focus on the tactical side of things. The thing is, Keener's poisonous influence goes everywhere. Maybe it's just too risky to take that chance of extending your circle of one at this particular time and season. But the solos things always work for you anyway. Keener may not be easily impressed, and he's making you jump through hoops with these trials. But if he's having those doubts about you, then he's not as plugged into the way things really are as we've given him credit for. He's asking if you're up for it? Well, you're here, aren't you? He's wondering if you'll pull through? Agents, You've faced bigger giants, myths, and legends than he can throw at you. His warlords couldn't stop you, and the waves of rogues that followed couldn't either. If he knows anything about you, agents, let him remember this: that when you've made up your mind and set your purpose on something, there's no pantheon of faction leaders that can stop you. I'll be watching, agents.